Rebel salute, rebel salute to everybody out there. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies, and comrades. I hope you're doing well. I hope your soul is good with the Creator, the Creator. This is Kenyan Revolutionary for another session, another day. It's Monday. For all you guys who are in Kenya, it's probably evening right now. It's nighttime. For everybody in the diaspora, I don't know whether you are in Australia, Dubai, Europe, USA. Karibu sana, karibu sana. But anyway, today, the topic, I'll try to be brief as usual. Let me get into it. The topic is Kenyan political party coalitions, or is it tribal party coalitions? Do we have political parties that are ideologically led, or do we have a bunch of tribal chieftains who actually gather and bring their tribes with them, tribesmen and women, to vote for them for the coalition, so that for the sole purpose of winning an election and nothing more? Which is it? And does that actually comes down to also us, we the voters? Do we find ourselves becoming tribalists? We support a certain coalition because our tribal chief is in the certain coalition. Which is it? Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies and comrades, let's take a look at this and see what is the case. Now, before I get started, I will start by reading some tweets that I saw out there in the metasphere that I found that were really interesting. These are from people who are influential in Kenya. So I want to read a couple of tweets. I'll start with Dr. Miguna, because I think he had a really, really interesting tweet here from today. It was a message for Ruto. As you guys know, Ruto is in Italy somewhere. I don't know what he's doing. It's a Italia African Summit. And I saw him rubbing shoulders with the president of the World Bank and the president of IMF. As usual, those are our buddies. Those are the people who we get our money from. We keep on borrowing. I don't know how much we're going to borrow. I mean, I don't know. They keep on throwing money at us. And we're supposed to be paying debts that we actually borrowed from Uhuru Kenyatta's regime. But apparently we haven't learned our lesson. We are still paying these debts. But anyway, let's read some tweets here that I actually took interest in. We'll start with one, none other than Miguna. Should I put it in the screen? Should I? All right, I'll put it on the screen then. If you care to see what I'm reading, hopefully you'll be able to read, because I think Miguna is giving an unsolicited advice to Ruto, something that actually can help him from the political gulag or state that he is in. He's not too popular right now with the people. There are people who are talking about everywhere he goes, he gets heckled. Anybody from his party who goes anywhere gets heckled because people are dissatisfied. So what can Ruto possibly do to change that, okay? But anyway, let's read Miguna's tweet here. I think it's an interesting one. We shall start with his and see what's going on. All right, let me put it up in case you guys don't have it on the screen. I'll put it. Fuck. Sorry, I'm cussing. Woo! Forgive me, Jesus, for cussing. I'm trying to be not somebody who likes cussing a lot, but hey, sometimes I can't help it. All right, so let's scroll down. Here he writes, for I will sound English. Earlier today, he writes, there are 5 files President William Ruto opened at the beginning of his presidency that if he were to focus on and pursue single-mindedly, he would leave a vibrant legacy once his term ends. Okay, this is what is right. Number 1, contributing to the liberation of Africa from suffocating foreign debt burden by redesigning. Sorry, let me just start again. Whoa, Jesus. Let me drink some more coffee. I don't know what's wrong with me, but bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm getting somewhere with this. Kahawa, yo. All right, let me start again. This is what Dr. Miguna wrote. There are 5 files President William Ruto opened at the beginning of his presidency that if he were to focus on the pursuit single-mindedly, he will leave a vibrant legacy once his term ends. Number 1, contributing to the liberation of Africa from suffocating foreign debt burden by redesigning or reforming the international financial system and making Africa less debt dependent and more economically independent. This is a struggle billions of Africans support, and it shouldn't have fizzled out the way it has. Okay? That's number 1. Let's go to number 2. The establishment of the State Capture Judicial Commission, not the usual commissions of inquiry whose reports are ignored and used as political tools by successive regimes. 3, repatriation of all looted public assets stashed abroad by previous regimes and ensuring that they are deployed in providing Kenyans with universal healthcare and affordable housing. 4, extrajudicial killings in Kenya. This entails transforming the security sector, disbanding all secret death squads, not simply changing their names, especially the police service, into a civilian-controlled and accountable service, not the current anti-people police service. This will breathe life into the Bills of Rights, which is the heart of the Constitution. And number 5, genuine, capital genuine, respect and commitment for the independence of the judiciary and compliance with all court orders. Unless this is done, the current evolving crisis will grow into a popular and uncontrollable rebellion, if not a full-fledged, widespread revolt, if not a popular revolution. This is not an exhaustive list of files that will be processed. They represent only the important ones that were opened at the commencement of the Kenya Kwanza regime before they were quickly forgotten. There will be a good start. Okay, you heard that, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, enemies and comrades. Miguna speaks his mind and advises kind of the president on what he can do to actually overturn things. That's a sound advice. I would agree wholeheartedly with what we're going to have said there. But let's get back to the topic, because I think this is more, I'm not saying more important than what Miguna wrote. It kind of plays a part. I've noticed something, especially when I go debate in different platforms, okay? When I approach a debate, I listen to everyone, what they say, and I try to gauge where they're coming from with that information that they're giving. For example, if someone comes here and wants to debate me and tells me, hey, you know what? The previous regime, Uhuru Kenyatta's regimes, was such beneficial to Kenyans, was such a wonderful, Uhuru Kenyatta did wonderful things because of A, B, and C. He built us a highway. The economy was vibrant. We were not suffering under Uhuru Kenyatta. I think the cost of living was bearable. The value of the shilling to the dollar was actually wonderful. We could afford, our currency was at a good space. Now, if you tell me that, of course, if you are in a discussion or a debate, it doesn't have to be a debate, it can be a discussion, I will actually challenge your position based on what you're telling me, because I will ask you, okay, you say that the highway we built was beneficial to Kenyans. Okay, how much did you pay for this highway? The SGR or the whatever highway that Uhuru Kenyatta paid for. Okay, did that money were we overcharged on that? Okay, that's number 2. Okay, Uhuru told us that he kept on losing 2 million or 2 billion a day or something. That's the government, the corruption was so rampant that he didn't even have control of it. He was losing 2 billion a day. I would ask you, where did that money go? Okay. The SGR, was the standard of living, the cost of living, was it actually high, or was those are the questions that I will answer. I will question you. I will challenge your stand and see, juxtapose Uhuru Kenyatta's accomplishments with two uh, uh, Kibaki, his predecessor, and his successor, William Ruto. And we can have a logical, reasonable argument on that, okay? Now, I had this gentleman also come up. He hails from the Kisii area, and he was like, he was saying that Simba Arati is a wonderful leader. He's actually doing great things for the people of Kisii, and he's bringing change. The guy is a straightforward guy. He might be the next, revolutionary head of the Azimio brigade, okay? And I was like, okay, fine, beautiful. That's good. And he actually went ahead and, said not so very nice things about Osoro, saying Osoro is a thug, he shot Simba Arati, and so forth, so forth. So me being somebody who likes debating, I'll challenge that position. And I was like, hey, listen, I get your point about Osoro. He's a dickhead who shot a couple of people when Simba Arati was conducting his whatever fundraising or whatever the case is. Okay? Now, but if you come tell me that Simba Arati is the next big thing that can lead Kenya into Canaan, okay? Proverbial Canaan. Are we serious? Because not so long ago, the same Simba Arati was seen actually attacking Didmas Baraza in some function somewhere, and the same thing, basically what Osoro was doing. The difference is Osoro actually used a gun, and this time, Simba Arati, used his goons to rough up another member of parliament at the time. Okay? So what difference is there between Osoro and Simba Arati? And what's so revolutionary about him? Like, I don't see it. Mention what his accomplishments. Okay? To me, there's no difference between Osoro and Simba Arati, to be honest with you. As I see it, that's what I see. Okay? So I will challenge you based on that. And if you can't make a point to convince me, or if you don't have a convincing argument and your only response is become defensive and start insulting me, then that shows me that you simply like Simba Arati just because he belongs to a party coalition that your tribal leader, who is him, belongs to. There's nothing more than that. You're not convincing me. You're not giving me evidence. That's the same I was arguing about this whole thing with when people talk about Ruto, which is fine. I do not have a problem with people criticizing Ruto. We should, as a people. Every time Ruto messes up, we need to call him out. Okay? It is our duty. Okay? Not only call him out, use our representatives to actually make something happen. Check the executive, the legislative body, put pressure on them to check the executive. That's what I'm all for it. But for the sake of, when you're a panelist in some show, if somebody makes a point, like people were saying, hey, Mr. Kenya, Goodia, thank you for joining the show. But anyway, like I was saying, if you criticize the president, which is fine, he's the head of the executive. We also have a legislative body, okay, which actually is more active than the judiciary. Remember, judiciary, they are more into, they interpret the law and adjudicate on matters, any duty, any matters that, disputation between two parties as it relates to the law, okay? So they just deal with us when it comes to, am I out from the doghouse? What doghouse, Goodia? I'll get to you, Goodia. I don't know what doghouse you're talking about, but I'll get to you. But anyway, so what I'm saying is this: it is okay to criticize the president and call him out when he does something wrong. But like I said yesterday, let's not forget the government does not only consist of the executive. How about the legislative body, who actually represent us directly? Okay, That's what I was talking about. So if we can start by saying, okay, I am not happy with this whole borrowing from the IMF and World Bank. We are borrowing like crazy. Okay, it's like an extension of Uhuru Kenyatta's government. Okay, and this borrowing is illegal because the Constitution tells us we can only borrow for development. Okay, only borrowing for the development. That's what Constitution tells us. You cannot just borrow this 150 million upper, 150 billion upper, doing gappy, and they have to be approved by the Parliament. The Parliament has to approve any loan that we take externally. Okay, even internally, we have to have parliamentary approval. But who is approving this? Ruto is borrowing right, head, and center. So I try to go past this simple argument and say, okay, Ruto is doing something illegal here. He's borrowing all this money from IMF and World Bank. Okay, fine, it's established. We are upset about that. But where is the Parliament? Where are the members of Parliament who are saying, hey, listen, this is illegal? Where is the members of Parliament who are going bringing a motion saying, hey, listen, let's summon these CSS and say, Ruto, why did you borrow that 150 billion? And if you have, where is it going? Is it for development? Was it approved by the Parliament? No. If it's illegal, then you will be held responsible for that money, whatever you give me. That is not our debt. That is your individual debt. And again, the Constitution is very clear. Article 226, 5. An official present or from the present regime can be held personally responsible for money that they have misappropriated. So you see where I'm going with this? It's just one thing to blame the president, which is fine, but it doesn't stop there. Government does not stop with the executive. We are in a new dispensation. The government includes the judiciary, the independent commissions, and the legislative body. Okay, so the arm of government that's supposed to be checking the president, where are they? Why are we not asking them questions? That's what I'm saying. Okay, we need to go past just because it becomes like a chorus. I go to all of these other wonderful platforms, but it's kind of like anyone who comes up and speak, they're like, okay, Ruto did this today, Ruto did this today, Ruto did this today. Okay, where's the solution? What can we do? Where's the people who are supposed to check the executive? That's what I'll be asking, not sitting there singing a chorus, because it gets boring. If you go to these platforms, that's what all it is. It is Ruto, we should remove Ruto. How long will it take Ruto before his government collapse? How he was heckled today. We are tired of him. These taxes or whatever. Can you come up with something new? Can we start looking for solutions? Okay? We have a lot of smart people out here. Okay? Can we actually explore how we can actually stop Ruto? I will be interested in that discussion more, rather than we are playing and it goes both ways. It's always Kenya Kwanza versus Azimio. Oh, you'll hear somebody say Ruto is not respecting the Constitution. Then you'll hear some Kenya Kwanza guy come in and say, Uhuru Kenyatta did the same thing. He was not respecting the Constitution. He was not respecting the judges. What is the solution? I'm tired of comparing Ruto and Uhuru. What can we do? How can we take care of that? Let me read some comments here by Goodyear. Goodyear is telling us in real life, it's right to hold the government governance PMs to account. Otherwise, they won't know where they are going wrong. If the public can't, then the public should hold them to account. Yes, exactly my point. Perfect point. If we don't hold these parliamentarians accountable, then they will sit pretty. And that's what I was arguing. These people are sitting pretty, and they're saying the parliament is not functioning. Otiende Amolo is telling us the parliament is not functioning. Kenyan is telling us the same thing. The parliament is not functioning. Excuse me, you are the member of the parliament. You are the person who we chose. Don't tell me it's not functioning. Make it function. We voted. We sent you there, Mr. Kenyan. We sent you there, Mr. Oscar Sudi. We sent you there, Mr. Otiende Amolo. We sent you there to do something. We didn't send you there to sit there and tell us the parliament is not functioning. Why is it not functioning? It is your responsibility to make it work. What's wrong with it? Okay? So the people should push into it. But The point that I want to get at today, which is coming, I'm slowly coming to the point. Nimekupeleka huku na huku, but I'm taking you to the point now. Kenya political party coalitions or tribal party coalitions. What I've realized is this. Most people, most Kenyans, and this is why we can never get to problem solving in Kenya. Most of us Kenyans, we are so tribalistic. Okay? We can't be honest with ourselves. Okay? And that's what happened in the whatever yesterday that I was trying to, I got into it with some people there that we are having discussion with, because they're so deeply entrenched into their tribal cocoons. You hear somebody says, Uhuru did this, Uhuru did that, Uhuru did that. Uhuru was Hitler. He was Hitler, Adolf Hitler, the Black Hitler of Kenya. And I'm not exaggerating. Okay? Yes, we can agree. Ruto is becoming a disaster. You see him in Italy going to ask for more money. These people are messing up. But don't come here try to convince me that Uhuru was any better. It gets on my skin. Okay? Why can't you be honest and say, okay, he messed up, Ruto is messing up, what's the way forward? But somebody will sit there and tell me, no, you know what? If it's a Kenya Kwanza guy, he'll tell you this. You know what? Ruto, give him time. He can change this. He can change this. Give him time. Ruto will change this. Then, if it's Azimio folks, you'll hear him or her will tell you, if only Baba can get to that post, if Raila can just get that post, atatengeneza vitu. Raila will tengeneza vitu. If he just become the president, he'll just make that. And in both cases, I'm not buying it. Yes, Ruto has 5 years for the Kenya Kwanza guys, okay? Yes, Ruto have 5 years to make things right. But if the trajectory in which he's heading to inaelekea malpabaya, we cannot sit there and say, okay, let's give him 5 years, and after 5 years we shall start complaining after 5 years. Okay? We have to stop him now. Thank God for the judiciary stopping him in that affordable housing and the Haiti whatever saga, whatever the case is. Thank God for the judiciary, okay? Actually, let me thank Ekuru Okot, because he's the one who stopped the Haiti thing. He's the one who put the petition there. The first one to do it. And Okiom Tata for actually putting the petition to stop the affordable housing. Thanks to them. They did so much. Azimio later on joined the petition, but it was Okiom Tata who single-handedly first put the petition. Okay? So, Kenya Kwanza, please, some fans, stop saying that we have 5 years for Ruto to fix this. No. We can't have 5 years. In 5 years, we might not have a country if he keeps on doing this. Okay? We might not. Okay? On the Kenya Kwanza side, on the Azimio side, you cannot tell me that if only Baba becomes the president, he'll fix it. By all evidence, Raila was telling us, I'm just going to continue what Uhuru Kenyatta was doing. Which was what? More debt, more disrespect for the judicial arm of government. Was that what he meant? Okay. And number two, I do not want to hear you talk about Raila becoming a president. We, the people, sovereign people of Kenya, we made Raila the president in 2017. We exercised our sovereign authority and defied the despot Uhuru Kenyatta, and we were willing to die and take bullets to see Raila become the president, the people's president, to appease him. And what did Raila do? He went ahead and turned and gave Uhuru Kenyatta the presidency. So don't tell me to vote for this man again. It is disrespectful for him even to ask for votes, if you're asking me. We risk our lives. Uhuru was shooting us to death while we were protesting at Uhuru Park. We even overpowered the security forces, which Matiang'i was sending to us, saying mpaka baba apishwe na tulimwampisha tukamweka rais, the people's president, the sovereign president of Kenya. And he went and gave back the authority that we gave him and gave it back to the despot who we rejected in Uhuru Kenyatta. Then you want to come again in 2022, come again in 2027, saying that you want to be president. Bombo clats! I think you lost your mind. You lost your mind. You fucking lost your mind. You fucking lost your mind. You lost your mind. Afadhali Kalonzo, I want to see Kalonzo run. I would rather see Kalonzo run. Raila Odinga, you lost. Where? Akiwacha nikunywe kahawa. Can I crease my crease again? In 2017, we said Raila Odinga, we knew kura yake iliibiwa. He won. Maraga knows he won. And we see, tulisema wananchi, this is not coming from anyone. This is not the fake maandamano that you see here. This was a real people's revolution with NRM na kila kitu. People traveling from coast, Mombasa, wapi, and said, Raila mpaka apishwe. Enough of this. It was like 2002. Kama mbaya ni mbaya, Raila mpaka apishwe. And we gave him the sovereign, something that you cannot ever get, rarely get as an African president. The sovereign power from the people. Even the security forces could not do anything about it. Uhuru alituma GSU asubuhi. People overpowered the GSU. People even showed up with guns. Mpaka GSU ikakimbia, stepped out. Uhuru akajificha huko Ordinio. That's why he has built that airstrip in his house. He was ready to run away to go to Congo. Watu wakajitokeza wakasema Raila mpaka achukue hii kiti. And we went and swore him in as the president to show Uhuru that we are not scared of him. We stood up against Uhuru Kenyatta. Then, Mr. Amolo Odinga left and went and gave the very person we rejected. Then comes back in 2022, tells us he's running again, that this time he has deep state, that he will win, akashindwa. Then again, he's coming again in 2023-4. He's telling us, 2027, I'll run again. Please vote for me. Wewe, hata kama umenidharau bwana, usinidharau. Wewe Raila wewe. Kuna kitu kama hicho. So that's why I'm telling you, anyone from Azimio who comes and tells me that Raila Odinga should run for president, hey. You need psychiatric evaluation. Ukuja uniambia ati nikupigie kura tena. Do you see this? This is why I really get hot when it comes to Uhuru Kenyatta. Miguna wrote that. I'm very, very deliberate what I say in this, in this channel. That's why I read you what Miguna wrote. Because Nani, this president that we have now, who is messing up, he can still fix it and actually fix his legacy. He has the opportunity. Tuache kuangalia watu wa nyuma, wale watu wamepita. He can do something and actually something. Let me read Goodyear before my temperature goes up. Unajua Goodyear ndio sasa ananipoesha kidogo. Goodyear is saying, the baton goes around, the baton goes round politically, merry-go-round, Raila, Uhuru, Ruto, Kenya Rebel, did you just say that you are passing the baton to Kalonzo? Make it a joke by giving... No, I was being facetious, Mr. Goodyear. I'm just saying, I was making the point that I can't even say his name. Kalonzo Wamusioka. Kalonzo, let me talk to you, Kalonzo. Kalonzo, you're watching? Kalonzo, please, if you're a Kalonzo fan, tag Kalonzo. Kalonzo. And you said Babu Owino. Babu Owino, I personally like Babu Owino. I like that he's young, vibrant, tialala na mambo ingine, but he'll have a hard time becoming. I don't even think the governorship atashinda, because I think hiyo kesi yake, they can always yeah. If he does, kudos to him. But like I said, I made a video. I was in a live before. I said this about Babu Owino. If Babu Owino wants respect, he has to stand for himself, stand by himself. I want to see him become his own man, because right now people are seeing him as Raila's puppy, Raila's lapdog. I want to see him be himself, acquire a maverick, and the upward defy these bodies and all of that. He has it, the it factor, right? Nani, Babu Owino has the it factor, but he has a lot of challenges ahead of him. Lots of it that he has to overcome. Iyo kesi yake will always haunt him for the rest of his political career. And I think it will be a hindrance for him. Sidani Kai, that's what I think. So if he gets out of Raila's shadow, let me tell you something. Let me give you something, a prophecy. Ribo shaba saba. I can feel it. Let me tell you something, you Kenyan politicians, especially on the Azimio side. If you want to make a name for yourself, okay, this might be a political suicide, but it will help you in the future. Get out of Raila's shadow. Because what will happen? Once Raila gets out of the political scene, whether through death or Ajitoe, we shall find out who is who. As long as Raila is alive, if Raila akiapisha, you get the Nyanza vote, okay? But let me tell you something. If you get out of Raila's shadow right now, especially for somebody like Babu Owino, who is relatively young, okay? The future, when the future comes, because when Raila Odinga, if you just think of it like this, if you take out Raila right now, okay? Tell me who's really standing on their own 2 feet. When if you remove Raila, who is there who stands on their own 2 feet? Nobody. No one. I can even argue maybe Sifuna. I like Sifuna. Sifuna have some balls. I'll tell you why. Omwami. Listen to me, Omwami, if you're watching. I also like Sifuna. Sifuna, like I said, he was one of the few parliamentarians who actually invoked Article 125 and brought Murkomen and asked him about his own generators zilikuwa zinaisha kwa ninio hapo JKIA. It was a good move. Sifuna, when the finance bill was being passed in parliament, Sifuna showed up. Babu Owino didn't show up. I read that. Babu Owino, you didn't show up. Sifuna showed up. Even if they lost, he wrote something and said he would like to thank the patriots who showed up to vote, who voted against the finance bill. So Sifuna has some balls. I like Sifuna. Okay. What's wrong with Martha Karua? What's wrong with Martha Karua? What? Who is positioned for? Martha Karua needs to just go ahead and enjoy the little money that, not the little, the money, the loot that she, actually the bribe that she got from the British Tobacco Company years ago that she got, and enjoy that in peace. Martha Karua is not going anywhere. And she knows it. Martha Karua, she started the Kamwene so that, when the political, I call it tribal party coalition realign themselves after the referendum, she can find a place for her. She can negotiate a deal and get to the next coalition, which will make the next government. That is why Martha Karua is doing that. But other than that, Martha Karua is not going anywhere. Kalonzo Musyoka, I was talking about Kalonzo Musyoka. Kalonzo Musyoka, to me, as I see it, Kalonzo Musyoka will probably, his next move, he will try, if he was to leave Azimio, Kalonzo Musyoka will try to find someone from Mount Kenya. Okay? There's this obsession of Kenyan politicians telling us that you need Mount Kenya. This obsession. Mount Kenya, Mount Kenya, Mount Kenya, Mount Kenya. Yes, it's a huge population in Mount Kenya, but they don't decide the president. I can tell you that they don't. That's a fallacy that we are meant to believe. But it is always important to have them some fraction of the Mount Kenya voting bloc on your back. Again, you hear me speak, I sound like a tribal party coalitionist. Okay, right? But that's just how it is. Kenyans are deeply tribal. No one is ideologically principled. We are not standing on principle. Raila, Karua, Kalonzo walishikana kwa sababu they said, okay, tukishikana wewe utaleta Kamba vote, utaleta a few Kikuyus here, Mwamalo will bring us some few lawyers here, and we might beat Ruto. Ruto is doing the same. Ruto went and got Mudavadi, wewe ndio unaonekana kingpin wa hapa hivi, nani the speaker, na hao waluya wengine walete hapa. Kalwale tuletee Kakamega na Ikolomani and all that stuff, okay? I don't know. Kalwale is busy killing bulls in Ikolomani or something like that. But that's how they play it, okay? Unaenda unapata watu. There's nothing ideologically about this. Hii ni watu wanakutana tu as, and that's why I say, and the sad thing, that's why I'm saying I'm even going to stop going to other, I'm not debating anybody anymore. I'm not. I will sit here, rant like a madman, and I'm okay with that. That's my niche. I found my purpose in life. I will rant here by myself. I'm not debating anyone anymore because there's no debates. Someone will come and tell you, sit in camera and face the camera and look at you in the eye in the internet and to tell you with a bold face, I'm a kodoa macho na kuambia ti Kenyatta was the best president Kenya ever had. Nata kuambia hivyo. How do you have a discussion with somebody like that? And you know the only reason they're saying that is because they are in the same tribe as Kenyatta. So they feel like if you attack or criticize Kenyatta, they feel like that's an attack to their tribe. And this is somebody who is actually really educated. Ameishi huku nje akakuja diaspora akaishi. He knows, went to school and learned some political ideology. He learned about Marxism. Trotsky, read about Trotsky and Plato, and you should know better. Okay? But still, with all that knowledge, umetembea, because Kaunda lituambia, President Kaunda told us this. Education is not only sitting in the classroom. Education ni kutembea na kuona things, how things work out there. Okay? So, that's why, to me, I see it, kwa sababu, Goodia would like to come back, but it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I usually look for a good debate, but ukienda hapo, when you start, see, the thing is, if you start challenging somebody's position, wanasema you're attacking me personally. Go look at, in fact, I'll play that exchange yesterday. Because if you attack somebody's position, you challenge. If you're in a public, because this is a meta world, okay? Tuko kwa internet. But it serves as the public, okay? So to say me, if you have an argument, let's say Goody has an argument, okay? Akuja niambia ati this isn't that, okay? I can challenge your position. It is not a malicious in malice, malicious intention. I'm just challenging your position. Ukiniambia ati, if I stand here and tell you that Ruto is a good president, you can challenge that statement by asking me, what has Ruto exactly done for you to think that he's the best president Kenya has ever had? That is the question that you should have. And it's a fair question. It's not attacking me personally. Okay? And you can even answer me. You can even question me and say, are you saying that only because Ruto is your tribesman? Even though I'm not Ruto's tribes person, but if I was an Nandi, you can ask me that. There's nothing malicious about that. Is it because he's your tribes? Because if I come here and let's say I'm a Nandi like Ruto, and I come here and say, Ruto is the best president Kenya has ever had. If you question me and tell me, hey, what are you basing that statement on? What accomplishment? What has he done for Kenyans for you to consider him the best president ever in Kenya's history? Okay? Then I can explain. And if I can't explain myself and give a reason why, then it is only logical for you to conclude that my only reason for saying Ruto is the best president in the Kenya's history is because he's my fellow Kalenjin. And there's nothing wrong with that. To me, if you come in and say, I think Ruto is the best thing ever happened in Kenya simply because he's my fellow Kalenjin, I will respect that. I'll say, okay, sawa. Me, I see it differently because I'm going based on what he has accomplished. But we okay feel that he is the best president because in Kalenjin, more power to you. And we can settle the argument or discussion. But if you come here and act, you hear people say, "Oh, this is it's an new channel. It's a very balanced channel." Then when you start challenging them on what they're saying, all of a sudden you are attacking people. Okay, then I'll come rant as a madman. I will rant. I want my voice to be heard. It will be hard, my friend. It will be hard. This is a crusade. This is not. We have to be fair. I don't have a problem with you challenging people. I've been advocating this. Challenge the president. Huh? There's never, you say there has never been a best Kenyan president unless you gain from their presidency. Good point. People who gain from the presidency will say, some people say Kibaki was the best president. Kibaki did well the first, 2 years of his presidency. Then he turned into a monster. And reverted back to the bullshit that we were scared of. So that's the point I'm making. If you're going to be fair, if you're going to criticize the serikali does not consist of the executive only. It is also the legislative body and the judiciary. Mostly the legislative body because they're supposed to be checking the executive. So the blame should be shared equally. That's what I'm saying. So to my point, Kenyan political party coalitions are nothing more but tribal party coalitions. I will support Azimio because I am a Luo and Raila Odinga is a Luo. So I will support Azimio, which is fine. It's a democratic right. That's nothing wrong with that. I will support William Samoei Ruto because Samoei Ruto is a fellow Kalenjin as me. So I will support Kenya Kwanza because Ruto is in the coalition of Kenya Kwanza. There's nothing wrong with that, if that's your stand. But my point is this, and now I'm making my point as I conclude. If we are going to find solutions to the Kenyan problem, we have to think past our tribal party coalition. Forget what Raila is saying. Forget what Ruto is saying. Forget what Kalonzo is saying. Forget what Karua is saying. Forget what Ichungwa is saying. Forget what Skiporori is saying. Forget what Marcom is saying. Forget what Kalwale is saying. You have to start thinking as a Kenyan and use your freaking brain. Use it. We are quick to heckle Ruto when he goes to Meru or wherever and says, niwalete kazi hapa, nitapeleka vijana huko waajiriwe kazi huko Germany. We are quick to heckle him, which is fine. But when Raila comes in and tells you, twende maandamano, you're not going to heckle him because you think he's liberating you. And we know that people are going to die. We know whatever we are going to maandamano for, you will not get it. You see what I'm saying? It goes both ways. It goes both ways. The opposition cannot sit being quiet and complaining about the government, the executive or the ruling party, while they're there for the very purpose to check this government. That's why we have opposition. That's their job, to check the ruling party. But you can't move away from the legislative arm of government, which is supposed to check the executive, operate in funerals, and complain about the government while you are part of the government that's supposed to be checking the executive, sitting at the funerals and complaining about how things are going wrong. Or you think, that's the thing. So, again, in summation, if we are going to find solutions for Kenyans, Miguna wrote some things that the president can do to improve, to help Kenya for the benefit of Kenyans. If we are going to honestly and truthfully face these problems, you cannot. And I know it's a very difficult thing to do because some of you are scared of being looked at as betrayer. You're betraying your tribe. Alfred Ketera Kizumza against Ruto, he's looked at as a traitor. But he's speaking his mind. He's not scared of saying Ruto is messing up. And he is from a Kalenjin. He's from the Kalenjin community. Okay? When, I don't know, Owalo says something about Raila Odinga or whatever, he's seen as a traitor because he's saying something that is against the tribal chief of the Neo. And those are the people who I want to hear. I don't want to be the voice that is regurgitating the narrative that is put there. Stand for something. Stand for what's right. Think for yourself. Even if they ridicule you, it's okay. Watakupeleka wapi? You are who you are. God made you as you are. There's no replica of somebody like you in this whole world. You are by yourself. So why should you think like everybody else? Hata wakikuita nini, it's okay. Even if I have 2 subscribers here and they're willing to listen to me, I'm okay with that. You don't have to go with the narrative so you can get views and get whatever, subscribers and whatever. Don't be a sellout. Stand for something. If it's wrong, it's wrong. If Ruto is wrong, he's wrong. If Raila is wrong, he's wrong. Who cares? I will not raise my blood pressure trying to have a normal debate with people who are not interested in fixing the country. They are interested of scoring points in a political debate in the internet. So they can go home and say, you know what, I made some points there na tulimshinda kwa point. Asikuja hapa na mambo ya sijui nini hapa. That is what's going on. Or some people just like listening to themselves. And there's nothing wrong with that. I like listening to myself too. That's why I'm recording myself. But I'm just saying, stand for something. People will respect you. They might look down upon you. Do you know how many times I've gone to these other platforms and they've called me names? Matusi. Unatoa point even at Matusi. You don't even finish. But it's okay. That's what makes me. I will not. That's why I call myself Kenya revolutionary. I rebel against the narrative. I didn't start it yesterday. It started even in my school days. I hated my teachers. I hated school. And I told them. And I nearly kneeled down. They made me kneel down, beat me up, whatever. So I'm growing up as a rebel, a Kenyan rebel. I'll think for myself. I will look at the things I need, and I'll speak my mind. It is not about fame. It is about the truth, the gospel of truth. Politically, we have smart people in Kenya. Kenyans are the smartest people in this world. One of the smartest. We have presidents. Hata kama yule look around. Smart people. But we are scared. We are so, yani kila mtu akona ukabila. Tumejua ukweli, but hautaki kusema ukweli kwa sababu umeogopa ukisema ukweli, you'll be a traitor to your tribe. You'll be a traitor to your tribal party coalition. Hawatakuacha urudi huko nyumbani, ama ukirudi huko watakuridicule. And that is what you're afraid of. That is what you're afraid of. You're fear. You're a coward. Speak the truth. If we want solution, we have to be truth. That's why you hear people who drink alcohol, alcoholics, wale watu wameshapo. The first thing is to admit you have a problem. You have a problem. Kenya, do we have a problem? Yes, we do have a problem. What is the problem? Tribalism, corruption, incompetence. You name it. Go down the list. But we have to admit that we do have a problem. And when you're approaching this problem, we have to be honest in how we approach these problems. Si kama unasema ati just like Mugu nasema tunaanza commission of inquiry hapo just to wash people off the court, ati tunapeleka kotini hapo na hata hakuna kitu evidence imepelekwa hapo. But also, the reason why I bring this up is because if we cannot even have an honest debate, a discussion in these platforms on metaverse world, if we cannot, as wananchi who are out here, siwezi kukaa chini nikikwambia ukweli, tuambieni ukweli ni vile tunaweza kusaidia hii nchi. How do you expect Ruto to fix things? How do you expect him to be honest with you? It starts from the ground. How are you going to have a real revolution if you can't be honest with yourself? Nikuja hapa nikuambia ati serikali this serikali will do wonderful things, blah 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 blah. I'm lying to myself. The same thing if you kuja ukuniambia hapa ati Raila will become the president, Raila the sixth, and he will revolutionize this country. And if you look at the ODM, it's in shambles. Okay? That is what I'm saying. We have to be honest with ourselves in our conversation. It is not about insulting people. I know we have a culture where mtu akiambiwa ukweli, they take it as an insult. No, it's not an insult. If you call me a Kikuyu and I'm a Kikuyu, that's not an insult. If I'm basing my argument based on my tribal political position and you call me out on that, there's nothing wrong with that. Why are you offended? Grow some grown man pants. Pata hiyo nini your feedback. Feedback is what makes you grow. Growing pains. Tuambiane ukweli. So Kenya, we do not have political party coalitions. We have tribal party coalitions. Hizo maninio zao hizo no referendum. See memorandum, what's the name? I even forgot. Those things, manifesto. It's just a piece of paper. It doesn't mean anything. These people just meet up and they conjure up some silly manifesto and they say, I ain't your political party. But it's all tribal. So you have to be honest. Be honest with yourself. Honesty is the best policy. It should come from a good place. I'm not calling you a Kalenjin or a Kikuyu or a Luo or a lawyer just to belittle you. No. So don't come and tell me Osoro is the next best thing since sliced bread. Don't tell me Uhuru Kenyatta was a great president. Because I'm basing my opinion on his accomplishments. Don't tell me Ruto is heading in a good direction. This government is rife, full of corruption, broken promises, lies, impunity. That's just the truth. Tuambie ukweli. You need another truth? Raila Odinga is full of shit. Telling us he's running for president in 2027. And he's not the solution. You want more truth? Oh, no, you can't handle that, yeah? You can't handle the truth. You'd rather hide and talk shit and go with the narrative and meet every day in your freaking whatever and talk about nonsense after nonsense after nonsense, and you will get nowhere because you're repeating the same nonsense where there's no solution. It's complaint after complaint after complaint. They wanted to know my tribe. I'm Kenyan. That's my tribe. Yeah. Mchuzi wa mbuta. So that's the thing. Ladies and gentlemen, this was a ranting special. But I will finish with this. If Kenyans, we want to solve the problems that bedevil us, whether it's corruption, tribalism, na mambo ingine, yes, we have to start with a conversation. But the conversation we are having, we have to come in with clean hands and an open heart and an honest intention. We have to be honest with ourselves. We have to be honest with ourselves. Ruto akiharibu tunasema Ruto ameharibu, anaharibu. Okay? If he killed people like he killed people in Nyalenda, we should say that. If borrowing is borrowing illegally, we should say that. Okay? Kenyatta aliharibu. We shouldn't run away from that. He was a mass murderer. He did kill a lot of people. We cannot run away from that. He destroyed this economy. That is a fact. He defied court orders. Fact. He started this bullshit that we are dealing with in this present context. Fact. Raila Odinga betrayed the struggle. Fact. And he's looking out for himself and his kids and his company. Fact. He's a selfish, self-serving politician who pretends that he is going to be the answer to the Kenyan problem. But he's not. Fact. For all you bootlickers and idiots, sycophants who call his name just so you can be reelected, good luck to you. Because he's not going to live forever. And I'm telling you, once Raila leaves the political scene, 90% of you dimwits that are surrounding Raila Odinga will not be voted in again. I read something about Gladys Wanga. In fact, let me go about this Gladys Wanga shit. I had hopes for Gladys Wanga. I liked her. I thought she's this wonderful woman who's doing wonderful things. She was voted one of the best performing governors in Homa Bay. But Bebe has been stealing. Wanga, I'm disappointed. I thought you were one of the few who could do something. Should I read it? It's in Miguna's tweets. So apparently, I will read it. There's a bishop called Bishop Oginde. Let me read this as I finish. I have a few minutes left. Let me see how many minutes I got before I finish. Okay, I have like 3 minutes. Let me finish with this Wanga. Wanga, you know I love you, but I have to do this. I have to do this. So Bishop Oginde went to Ramogi TV or something like that. And this is what Bishop Oginde said. People taking government money purporting to be going for diverse meetings in various places are also so many. In fact, I can say that in Nyanza, Homa Bay is leading in cases of corruption. These people have stolen so much of our money, it is not possible. The interviewer asked, do you mean Homa Bay or Siaya? See, the interviewer is asking Siaya because Siaya is known. Orengo is looting Siaya to the ground. So the interviewer asked, do you mean Homa Bay or Siaya? Bishop Oginde continues, Homa Bay. And as people from Nyanza, we must stand firm and tell these people to stop taking our money. The interviewer asked again, Homa Bay or Siaya? Because Siaya is known for corruption. Orengo and the cohorts, and his cohorts. Okay? So Bishop Oginde responds again, stolen in Homa Bay. In one case, 625 million has been stolen. In another case, 400 million stolen. And in another, 260 million stolen. A lot has been stolen. All what is happening is stealing money. This is a bishop who was speaking, talking about Homa Bay. What did Gladys Wanga say? Let's read Gladys Wanga's response. I'll read it very quickly as we finish up. Okay? It's a little bit lengthy, but I'll read it. I take great exception to the very grave statement that hundreds of millions of shillings have been stolen at Homa Bay County, and all what is happening is stealing money. These statements, which are denied, have the potential of portraying county government of Homa Bay in extremely negative light, and it is in this regard that I wish to place matters into context and seek your clarifications. I wish to state from the outset that my administration does not condone corruption in any form and welcomes all efforts aimed at fighting corruption in the county. It is, however, very important that investigation must be conducted having regard to due process, and further, that all and or any allegations be placed in their factual context. To begin with, prior to your interview, none of the allegations had ever been brought to my attention, and to the best of my knowledge, any officers of the county government. It is inconceivable that an investigation of the magnitude stated in your interview will go on without my knowledge or information. You will confirm that at no time has the commission sought any information from any administration on the matters referred to in your interview. Further, and very importantly, you did not place into context the period to which the investigation relates. In particular, you did not state the investigation relates to a period before my administration came into office. The purpose of writing this letter, therefore, is to bring to your attention that very grave concerns highlighted in my letter, and hope that the commission, as it undertakes its statutory mandate in fighting corruption in the country, will at an appropriate as soon as possible make the clarification that I have sought herein. In the meantime, I wish to reiterate my full and unequivocal commitment to the fight against corruption and look forward to providing any further information that you may require. Yours truly, Gladys Wanga, EGH, CBS, Governor, CBS Office, CBS, CNN, ABC. Wanga. Anyway, that's a response. As expected. You didn't contextualize, you didn't specify. That's the bishop who spoke. It's a bishop. I highly regard bishops. I don't know why a bishop will go to a place and lie about this. That letter is in Miguna's page too. So Gladys Wanga, you have questions to answer. I thought it was only Orengo who was stealing. But anyway, the devolution thing has been a disaster. It's a good idea, but it's a disaster. I just had the Auditor General saying that governors have been pocketing 2 million of the 2 billion or 2 billion. Yeah, 2 billion. That was supposed to be whatever they're paying it in cash. It's a freaking mess. But my point as I wrap up, ladies and gentlemen, it's been an hour. Political party coalitions or tribal party coalitions. We have tribal party coalitions. We have parties that are not ideologically principled. People just meet up. Oh, when him Kikuyu, okay, good. Let's take Kikuyu vote. When him Luya, okay, let's take Luya vote. When him Jaluo, let's take Jaluo vote. When him Kamba, let's take Kamba vote. When him Kalenjin, let's take Kalenjin vote. They don't stand on anything. It's just about winning power. Say unaona, they don't have power, they are breaking up. Same thing with Kenya Kwanza. It's a mess. But the conversation has to start from the Wananchi. And the Wananchi have to be honest in the discussion. Let's open up. Listen to everyone. Kukasirika haita kusaidia. As controversial as somebody might sound, or as offensive as it might sound, the truth is always an offense to those who are living in a lie. If I told you are lied to, you will be offended. But we have to be honest. So for those who have these platforms, those who have any conversation on any platform, whether you are in the parliament, whether you're in the executive, where you're in the bunge la wananchi, anywhere, baraza la wazee, or whatever the case is, the discussion has to be an honest one. And let's focus on how we can actually solve the problems that bedevils the country, rather than the political coalition and who is going to actually rule us the next in 2027, because that's not going to help you. You'll have these musical chairs where you have the same corrupt bunch that has been ruling us since independence, not even independent, since the white man gave them power to actually supervise, chaperone the rest of us. So we have to be honest and have an honest conversation about this. We know what we need to do. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kenyan Revolutionary. It's been an hour. I'd like to thank you. Thank Brother Benson in the comment section, Goody in the comment section, and everybody else and X who has been watching me. It's been a pleasure. I have to stop here. Again, I said, from now on, I'm not participating in other platforms, debates or nothing. It is useless. It is futile. It does not help anybody because people are only worried about making points and looking at themselves on the internet. I am not that. We are going to find solutions. If you want to come here and have a discussion, we are going to find solutions. Look for solutions. Good year. Thank you very much. Thanks, Kenya Rebel. We should stop the tribal BS and unite. Very well said. We should stop the tribal BS and unite. We have to unite and we have to be honest with ourselves. Again, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, my name is Kenyan Revolutionary. As you can see on the screen, find me on YouTube. You can only type there on YouTube and you'll see my face. You cannot miss it. Subscribe, share, like, and comment. Okay, like this video if you see it. Okay, and also follow me on X. I'm on X. You can watch me live every time I go live. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace and blessings. God bless. God bless. Bye, and I'm out. Peace.